Learning to play with the third finger is one of my favorites because we get to learn what I call ringing notes. Now, Suzuki students might recognize this from tonalization exercises, but basically the concept of ringing notes is, first of all, if we review the names of the open strings, so E, A, D, and G, if these are the most resonant notes on the violin. If I play an open string, open with no fingers, if you put a finger down, it closes the string. If I play an open string, the sound continues for a very long time. Now, if I pluck it. Now, if I play a different note that's not an open string, it might not last as long. So there's a C sharp. Here's a G sharp. My G sharp doesn't last very long at all. It's kind of a dead note on the violin. But if I play any of those notes that match the open string, so again, G, D, A, and E. So here's a A on the E string, so third finger A on the E string. If I'm in tune, the sound will last a really long time. Listen again. And this is what I mean by ring. So your violin rings or it sings when it's happy. And part of our job as a violinist is to make the most sound possible that our violins can make. Nicer instruments might have a bit more resonance on some of the less beautiful notes. Like in my violin's case, G sharp is not a good note. It's not a good note on my violin. A very nice violin might have a better G sharp kind of sound. See, it stops right away, but A keeps going. So in order to have a really great third finger, you need to practice making that ringing sound, making the ring every single time. Because if you're not playing in tune. Now, if your violin's out of tune, the note won't ring, so the violin has to be in tune. So if I put my fingers down, it doesn't matter if I put only my third finger down or all three fingers down. And there are reasons to do both. When we first start to learn, it's a very good idea to put the first finger down, then the second, and then the third, so that we have a sense of where they all live, and also to put them all down at once. Notice I'm keeping my wrist straight and not collapsing. Now, another important thing about putting fingers down is that we want them to go down in these little box shapes. So we don't want collapsed knuckles. Okay, so the fingers should be more or less straight up and down. Now later on we might flatten a bit to get a rounder sound, but for now I like to teach people to be very upright. And when you learn vibrato later on, it's important that you have flexibility, that these knuckles are able to move. But for now, I want you to focus on the box shape. So if you're just learning your third finger, so the first goes down, then the second finger goes down, then the third. So we have open E, F sharp, G sharp, A, O, 1, 2, 3. And if it's in tune, it'll ring. So when you're comfortable walking your fingers down, and notice I lift my bow away to help the violin breathe. I don't want to crush the sound. So what you should practice is going from open to the third finger and see if you can make it ring. I would suggest maybe 10 times a day. This is third finger D on the A string. A, B, C sharp, D. Now notice, just on the theme of ringing notes, if I play something like an A on the G string with my first finger, that's an incredibly resonant note. So you hear how much sound I'm getting out of it. flat. Hang on. There it is. Now that my violin's in tune. I can even get the E to resonate a little bit as well. So I'm getting both the sound of the A string. You can even probably see it moving. So you can see that the G string, as I play it, is moving, but also the A string is resonating. You can also see this on the third fingers. So that's the important thing about the third finger. So box shape, lifting and dropping, keeping a straight wrist, not collapsing. Okay, if you're collapsing, it's probably because you're making a fist. So we want a dropping motion coming from the knuckles down here, not from up here, but we bend from almost a third of the way down our palm. So practice getting that ring so that you get the best sound your violin can make. Good luck.